Good morning, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Raja. Today we're gonna be making a chunky pillow. You can use this as a decoration or you can use it for just to hug or you can use it as a cushion. And what we need for this pillow are jumbo knitting needle. I'm using 31.5 inches long cable needle, and this one is 20 millimeter in diameter. And I have also a spare pair of the needle, and I find it handy to use when I need to hold up the stitches, while I use this one to work on other part. And I will show you how to do that in the video. And next item we need is a stuffing to make the pillow fluffy. This is a polyester stuffing and it's washable. And next we need 2 balls of jumbo yarn, and you will see number 7 on the label when you buy it. That's the biggest category of the yarn. And this is a chunky yarn I bought from Wish store online. 2 balls of this weight 125 grams. Okay, I will make 1 pillow, and we have extra left over for maybe decoration. When you're done, you can make some flower. And then a pair of scissors just to snip off the yarn when you're done. And I think we are ready to get started. We're gonna make our first stitch by making a slip knot. Making a slip knot by forming a circle around your finger and then pull up the bottom part of the string to form a loop that should look like this. Insert a needle into the loop, and this counts as our first cast on. Next, holding the yarn in your hand, on your left hand, in your palm, and then slightly flip or rotate your hand halfway, insert the right hand needle into the loop and pull gently to tie the stitch. Continue doing this way until you have 16 stitches, and that will count as our cast on base. Okay? And now for our first row, we are going to knit all the stitches on this row. To do a knit stitch, you will have a yarn behind the needle and insert a needle through the loop. Wrap the yarn around the needle and pull it through like that, and then slip it off the left hand needle. Continue doing in this way until all of the stitches are knit, and this will be our first row. And now we are going to begin our second row. Turn the work and start purling by inserting a right hand needle through the loop. Make sure the yarn is in front of your work. Wrap the yarn and pull it through. Pull it to the back side. Is opposite of knitting, because knitting you pull it to the front. So in purling, you wrap the yarn and then you pull it through the back and then slip the stitch off just like that. So insert a needle, stick the needle upward, wrap the yarn, pull it through the back. Keep doing like that until the end of the row, and this will be our second row. After completing row 1 and row 2, we will continue repeating row 1 and row 2 until you finish row 23, and this is called stockinette stitch. Okay, now we just finished our 23rd row, and now we are going to do our 24th row. The piece should look like about a square side, and this is the right side. It looks nice and smooth, and compared to the back side, it's gonna be a little bumpy. And this is the wrong side, which where we start our 24th row. On our 24th row, we are gonna knit all stitches. This will be our center fold of a pillow. So this is kind of opposite of the row that we used to work, because this row used to be a purl row, but now we're gonna make it net. So this will give a nice rich forming when we fold the pillow. So keep doing a knit stitch until the end of the row. And then when you're done with that row, the rib should look like this. So this is our center mark, and we'll make it nice and straight fold. Then you begin row 25 by knit all stitches and continue knit, purl, the same as before until you complete row 46, and that should be a wrong side row. So sometime during your knitting, you are going to run out of yarn from your first ball. So I just want to show you how to join yarn together. In this case, I prefer joining yarn just right before you start a new row, so that it won't show a bumpy section in the center of the project. So I just grab the new yarn here and make a little loop around the needle, just like that. And then I just knit as usual, leaving a little bit of the tail so that I can weave it behind the work with my yarn that I'm using. So grab one of those tail. It doesn't matter which tail you want to grab. It works either way. So pick one, and then you're going to twist the yarn that you are working on and the tail of the yarn together, twist it, and then knit as usual, and keep doing this way until the tail kind of disappear behind the work. So twist it and knit. So that's the way I do mine. And then use your judgment if you can weave it again, or you prefer just to snip it off. So do it about 3 stitches if you can, so that will be the best. And then you just continue knitting to the end of the row, and then you will come back, purl back again. So once you purl back, and you're gonna start the new knit row, and this time we're gonna do the same thing with the outer end that we have, the one that we just end. So do the same way, twist the yarn with your working yarn and continue until the end. So that's it. Now we are going to join our pillow together. After the 46th row, we should have the piece that look like this. And you fold the pillow in half. And we're gonna start joining. First, I have to remove the stitches on the needle onto a separate pair of needle, so that I can use the bigger needle to work on my joining. So all I do here is just transfer them. Okay, slip them on. This is why it's good to have a spare pair of needle. It's come in handy. So now we finish that, we're gonna go ahead and use our bigger needle to join the edges together. So you look for the first cast on the back, and we're gonna join that with our first stitch. So go ahead and pick up the first stitch on the needle and then leave it there, don't slip it off. We're gonna go to the back side now, pick up that loop of our cast on, and we're gonna knit both of those stitches together like that. And then we're gonna do the second stitch the same way. So just knit the first stitch and the second cast on, and then knit again, and then we're gonna pass over the first stitch on the needle over the second stitch, just like biting off. Sometimes it's easier just to use the hand to lift it up because the needle is a little bit slippery. So do the same way with the third stitch. Okay, and then bite it off like that. It's okay to slip the stitch off the needle if you're okay with that. Just remember to slip it through all those stitches, and you're gonna have only one stitch on the right needle to work for the next one. Okay, yeah, just pass over all the stitches and you have one left on your needle. So keep on going like that until you finish. Okay, so now I'm at the last stitch that I need to bite off for this side. So this will be the end of our first closing, but we still have more opening that we need to close it up. Okay, so now we finished the first part. Now we're gonna move on to the side opening that we have. So we're gonna do the same thing again, but this time to find the stitches is a little bit difficult. So we have to study the stitches. We're gonna do the biting only on the long part of the stitch. You notice that one is look like a knot and another one is a little bit longer. So that part, that's where we want to put our needle through the same way on both sides. So go ahead and put the needle through both sides, and then do the same bite off. Okay, so this time I'm just gonna use the hand because I only work with one needle. So look for the long side of the yarn again. You can see the different, the knot and the knot to knot. Just keep on going like that. And for this opening is the side opening, and then after that we will do the opposite side, and then we're gonna do stuffing. Okay, so keep on going until the end. Okay, now for the last stitch that we have here for this side, I just want to show you how to finish off the last stitch so that you don't lose your stitch and make the opening opened in the future. So this process is called ending off. So this is my last stitch that I have to do to close up the opening. Okay, once you come to the last loop here, you're gonna cut the yarn about 2 inches and then put this tail through that loop and you pull it tight. Okay, and we're gonna tuck this tail right behind that so you won't see it. It will go inside, so just tuck it right in there. There. So just hide it. Okay, so you can see these chains are slightly bigger than the stitch, but that's what we wanted. Okay, and for the last part, we're gonna do this last opening, basically pretty much the same thing. We're gonna close it up with this same bind off that we did in the past. So just join the new yarn and go ahead and start doing the same way. And you just, if you have that leftover tail of the yarn, you just kind of weave it behind, just like I showed you before, and pick up. And we're gonna close up about halfway for this part, and then we're gonna look at how we're gonna stuff the pillow. Okay, so just keep on going until you come about halfway. Okay, now it's a fun part to stuff a pillow. So get those polymer out and go ahead and stuff your pillow according to what you prefer, softness, firmness, or whichever. And then when you finish stuff it up, you're just gonna close off all these seams and the opening that we have left. So just going and close it just like the way you did on other sides. Keep going until you come to the last stitch again. Final. Okay, now just gonna snip off that yarn will be done with, and then just thread that through that last loop and then tuck the yarn inside the pillow, okay, to hide it. And so that's how our pillow look like. And with all that leftover yarn, you can find a way to make some creative decoration if you like. Find a way to attach it. Probably you could use like a needle and thread to sew it on the pillow. That would look quite interesting, I think. I want to mention the needle a little bit, and this needle from MEHOUSA is made out of oak wood, real wood, and the plastic tube. It's a snag free, knit well, and I knit this pillow pretty quick, and I wasn't really used to the big jumbo needle before, but I get used to it after a while, and I find it pretty decent needles, and I would recommend it if you're on strict budget, because this set of needle costs about $20. Plus, now that MEHOUSA mentioned that they also have coupon for you to use, and I think it's 10%, yeah. So I'll put the coupon code down for you and the link to the Amazon if you are interested. Their needle are pretty good, because I have did a review on the smaller one, like a 16 inches circular needle, and that one worked pretty well. I'm still using them too. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.